Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a model launched in 2014. This is the Zenith El Primero caliber 410 triple calendar moon phase, and it is everything the name implies. 42 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. The watch is 14.3 millimeters thick and 50.3 millimeters lug tip to lug tip, with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, the watch is large. It is what we would call the Chronomaster case, circa 2021, and it wears like a timepiece true to size on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's neither large nor small for a 42, but full-sized without being oversized. It's slim enough that it should fit underneath jacket cuffs and some looser sleeves like mine right here, but I do believe you need a wrist of at least 14 centimeters circumference to wear this watch well, and to be perfectly honest, 15 centimeters circumference would be the safest bet, that or larger. The timepiece is substantial, and it comes with a strap and clasp to match. As you can see, large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss in black with a monotone stitch on the top, and it uses sheer cut sides that show you the thick slabs of leather used, gratifying, satisfying, and long-lasting. Thicker leather is always better. Gets better still. Zenith, and you can see this is a new Zenith factory strap, uses a rubber inlay on the underside to protect the leather from the oil, sweat, moisture, and grit of the wrist for longer wearing durability. We have, with both satin and polished finish, a twin trigger release double folding clasp. You can see it has ceramic pin snaps internally, so that it will snap shut and retain tight tolerances over time, as the steel can never aggress against the ceramic, ensuring it will always shut with a click and a clack. Jump into the case. Again, this is what we would call the Chronomaster case these days. The timepiece features polished flanks with a little minimal bevel on the edge of the lugs, a small satin finish top, and then a little bit of a sharply squared off and downturned end. The watch has pump style pushers, and as you can see, the Zenith Star logo on the crown, with a little kerf on the case back so you can more easily dig in your thumbnail to pull out the crown. The Chronomaster has always been slightly vintage inspired, and to that end we have a dramatically cambered box section sapphire that's designed to look a little bit like a vintage plexiglass. On the dial we have a tachymeter outboard. It is black on silver print. You can see we have a lovely blued Lancet style chronograph seconds hand, baton, hours, and minutes, all applique and loomed steel rhodium plated hour indices, and then we have the triple calendar. The tachymeter outboard is used for gauging the speed of something moving fast. Unless you can apply mental decimals, it's between 500 units and 60. The tachymeter is used with the chronograph seconds hand, and that is how you gauge the speed of something over a known distance, such as a mile or a kilometer. Now we have sunken sub-registers for constant seconds, as well as chronograph minutes and chronograph hours with a coaxial moon phase display. We have the day, the date, and the month, and we will do a quick loom shot here. The watch is loomed, and fairly well for a dress-oriented timepiece. We have a date and a month that can be actuated by quickset. Because this is an El Primero, the intermediate position actually sets the hands, and the outermost position allows you to operate the quickset. So I can ramp relatively quickly up and through the calendar. Note the month will change. And so that is how the quickset system works on this watch. As with most El Primeros, it does not have a hacking seconds function. Turn it all over, we have caliber 410Z. If you're wondering what the Z means, some changes were made to the escapement architecture in the mid to late 90s, and that is the only real change. It is a 31 joule bidirectional winding automatic with a 50-hour power reserve. As with all Zenith El Primeros, Rolex was an exception, but with Zenith El Primeros, it beats away at 36,000 vibrations per hour, and it carries the legacy of the first integrated automatic high-beat chronograph, the El Primero, launched in 1969. All of this is water-resistant down to 50 meters, and the movement operates using a combination of a column wheel and a lateral clutch. You can see the lateral clutch moving minutely away from and into contact with the chronograph center wheel, and then we have the column wheel, which is all black polished here. We have a combination of mostly machined beveling on the edge of the components and satination on the steel components of the chronograph. We have both blued and polished screws, and they mean different things to the watchmaker. That's why we have both of them. You can see that the movement is a panoply of colors: blue, silver, the gold of the wheels, and the violet of the pivot jewels. It's a handsome movement, and the El Primero is one of the most aesthetically pleasing automatic chronograph calibers. Thanks to the column wheel, we have a nice crisp operation, and while the lateral clutch is not as efficient as vertical clutch, it is more beautiful and poetic, which is why, among others, Patek Philippe charges more for lateral clutch chronographs. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.